Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Toffee Blues, your source for all things Everton. And Everton are officially playing football in the Premier League next season after a 1-0 win against Bournemouth. Well, I want to make sure a few people are in the stream before I get going. So if you want to say hi in the chat, everyone, I'm still catching my breath, to be honest, after that, because that was one of the most tense games of football I've watched in a while. I think it really showed a lot of Everton's positives along with the negatives. Really, I think it highlighted both quite well, and I think certain players really stood out. I think I'll get into some of the players that I think really stood out, and obviously what I think going into next season, and see what some of you lot think going into next season. But yeah, I think it was really one of those where it's almost hard to say exactly how I feel about that game, to be honest with you, because it's one of those where it wasn't a win to keep us up that really filled me with faith, to be honest with you. It wasn't a result where I feel confident after that. The only issue I'm running into here is the chat is not seeming to show up on the StreamYard thing, so I'm actually going to have to switch between YouTube and Thingy. I don't know if anyone's actually even in the chat right now because it's just. So if you see me looking off to the side while we're doing this, it's because I think I'm going to have to go on to YouTube to actually read the comments. I think there's a few comments here, but I think these are from before I got in. But it wasn't a ridiculously tense game. It was a game where we honestly did not deserve to survive. We did not deserve it, but certain players stepped up when they were required to, and in the end, that kept us up. That goal from Decore was absolutely unbelievable. I really don't know how much detail I'm going to be able to go in because it's such an emotional game that it's hard really to know what to say. To be honest with you, here we go. I've got a few chats coming in now from Ever. Stink here, but keep me in there. He has fantastic mental toughness. He pulled us through. Yeah. 100%. Massive mental toughness. Amazing performance again. But he has agreed to leaving. He's on huge wages. And to be honest, I can't see a team. There's rumours of Marseille. There's other teams in Europe that want him, apparently. I can't see him being an Everton player when he's putting up calibre performances like that. I think Conor Cody impressed as well while we're talking about the centre-backs. I think, obviously, it isn't a back three, and that's what suits Conor Cody best, but I think he really impressed. I think it's one of those. Kieran Hoshea puts never again, though, mate. Hopefully not. Honestly, I'd take just fine mid-table 12th next season, 13th, one of those positions. I'd be absolutely elated with that because, to be honest with you, dealing with another season of that it's almost unbearable as it is, especially with how most of that game seemed before that Decore goal. It just felt like we were just going to limp into relegation. And that really, we were saved by a wonder strike from someone who's really impressed ever since Sean Dyche came in. Toffee's 1878 puts bored out, celebrating survival as an Everton. We used to be a big club who fought for trophies. Now we just celebrate survival. Things need to change time with the board. You are right, 100%. Hopefully with this takeover that might be happening, we do start to see changes with the board. Hopefully that means we're not put in a position like this again where we have to sit and worry about relegation next season. The one thing that obviously does worry me is the chance for points deduction with the FFP stuff. But to be honest, I'd rather have a points deduction in the Premier League than a points deduction in the Championship. So it's one of those. Toby Larone put pitch invaders pissed me off. Don't care how relieved everyone is. Them players don't deserve any celebrating. Yeah, I think it's more, like you said, I think it is more of a relief thing, Toby, to be honest with you. I think it's one of those things where it's just a pure relief of it. And of course, I think people are going to react like that. I think it's just one of those things, unfortunately. I think it's next season, hopefully, like I said, Kieran O'Shea says here, changes need to be the worst this summer. Also might go under the radar, but what our job Dyche has done. We were dead and buried when he came this summer. Changes need to be the word this summer. Yeah, I think you have right 100%. We need a new board. We need a new strategy. We need because this now it feels like it feels like we should have been going through a transition period for the last 2 years, but in reality, it's just been stagnant. Hopefully now under Dyche, I don't know what approach Dyche is going to take, but hopefully it means we're signing younger players with development, even if it's just to do what we used to do, which was just we'd bring these players in who were not really well known. We'd bring them in, sell them on for big profit. I'd rather us do that strategy that we used to do under Moyes than now, where we're just, over the past few years, we're spending 40, 50 million on crap, to be completely honest with you. Peter Collins thought I'd be relieved, but I'm not. I'm not just bloody fuming. Understandable, mate. Like I said, it's one of those games where it's completely understandable why you'd be absolutely livid after it, especially after everything that happened. With just the season in general, an awful season. I don't know. Like I said, it's the worst season I can remember. So from 2001, but like I said, I've been watching Everton consistently that I can only remember from around 2006, 2007. So this is the worst year I can remember. Obviously, some of you in the chat will know worse years, but it's one of those where I just think going into next season, there has to be a complete change in the culture of the club, and I think that starts with the board. I think kicking the board off, saying we have high standards than this, we want better than this. It sends a message through the entire club, not just it sends it to the fan base. It even sends it to the other teams in the Premier League that we're not going to let a bunch of clowns run the club into the ground anymore. Gonzalo puts what a face up the fucking Toffees. Come on, you Blues. Like I said, it's a really weird atmosphere, and I think it's going to be over the next few days, because I think there's going to be two sides that are both well within the rights to feel that way. You're going to have the side of just pure relief and happiness that we actually survived, and the side that are fuming that we're even in that position in the first place. And to be honest, there's even a middle ground between the two. So I think it's difficult, but I think there's a few players in the game today that really deserve celebrating. I think Decore scored the goal. That kept us in the league. And what a goal it was. Decore has been absolutely fantastic since Sean Dyche came in. And I think it's one of those where he's one of the players where, he got that 1 year extension. And I think it is on quite big money. But I think he earned that 1 year extension, to be completely honest with you. I think he has earned it. I think he's put in the performances to earn it. I think quite a lot of the team, all three of the defenders, were great, especially Mina. I think Mina, Cody, and Tarkowski. Pickford, of course, Pickford again making another vital save that's going to keep us in the Premier League. It's one of those where, honestly, I think there's quite Dwight McNeil, I think, was quite good as well. I think Onana played all right. I think Idrissa Gueye played all right. I think the only issue was those forward areas again, and I think a lot of the team performed to quite a good standard, but those forward areas let us down so much that we were put in a position where we could only win 1-0. And I think it desperately highlights the need of a striker in summer, and a good striker too. If we've got a big budget, we won't have a big budget, but if we've got a budget in place, a good amount of that budget needs to go on a striker who can get us a few goals. There's a few strikers that have gone down. Southampton, Che Adams is a decent striker. Leicester have got, Iheanacho, Daka, bit early, but is Dyche a firefighter, or would you trust him with money? I think it's difficult, because I think he always had Burnley overachieving, and I think Burnley are one of those teams where eventually they were going to go down. And I think it depends, really. I think Dyche is the manager who can take us to, let's say, where Aston Villa are right now? No. Is Dyche a manager who can take us to comfortable mid-table in a position where we're not having to worry about relegation again? Yes, I think he can definitely do that. And, I think it's one of those where it's about giving Dyche a chance at least. And if he doesn't fulfill those expectations, then I don't know, because I think the culture of sacking managers hasn't worked at the club. We have just sacked so many managers over the years, and Dyche has impressed. He's done a job with a championship standard squad at best. So it's one of those. Marcos puts, well done, greetings from Brazil. Welcome to the stream, Marcus. I hope you enjoyed the game. It's one of those where someone had to enjoy the game, because that was ridiculous. But yeah, to Obi, I think we trust him with the money. I think from what he's shown us since he came in, I think get some of the results he has gotten with his team has shown the Brighton game, the Arsenal game, and stuff like that. I think the Chelsea game, I think he deserves a chance to be given money. And in the end, we're going to have to spend money anyway. So if it depends, because for example, if it's Kevin Felwell working with Dyche to make these signings, if this director of football job is actually done right this time, then hopefully, even if we sack Dyche, then the manager should be in place. Gonzalo puts a lot of red in your background, mate. Or that's down to the landlord, that mate. I wish I had a choice in that matter, but yeah, I think it's a difficult one. I think it's really hard to gauge where we're going to be next season. I think it's really difficult to really understand where this club's going to be. And I think the first thing this club needs to do is get rid of the board. Hopefully this takeover does go through. I think it MSP now. I think it's MSP's capital now. That meant to be taken over. Hopefully the money's put in place for us to spend. We'll have Mashiri gone. Hopefully Ken Wright gone too, and all the yes man on the board gone. I think it's time for a new board with ambition, not a board that's just settling for less, which I think we've done for too long now. I think it's time for some ambition in the club, and we're a club big enough to have ambition. You look at the stadium, we're moving into the history of the club. Even where we were when Ancelotti was at the club, we were in 3 years ago at Christmas time, we were in a title race, so obviously a lot of us knew we were never going to win that, but it's one of those things where realistically there's no reason why we shouldn't have ambition and why people who come into the club shouldn't have ambition. I'm not saying we should do a Brighton this season or Aston Villa and challenge for Europe, but what I am saying is we should be in a position where we're absolutely not worried about relegation, where even by Christmas we're like, yeah, there's no chance we're getting relegated. I think it's one of those, really. So I think, will the club do that? I don't know. I think the Premier League next season is going to be hard to judge. It's going to be really hard to judge because, there's teams like Luton in the Premier League now, and obviously teams like Leicester going down. So, like I said, I can see Leicester squad getting absolutely ripped apart, and and clubs looking at a team like Leicester and wanting to take all the best players. Even similar with Southampton, Leeds too. I think it's a position where it's really interesting what the league's going to be next year, and I think we've got a real chance to pounce next season because I see Brentford taking a drastic fall off unless they can replace Ivan Toney's goals. I see Fulham taking a drop off because I see them losing a few players in the summer, and teams around that mold, that Crystal Palace may drop off depending on who they bring in, and if they lose any, obviously losing Zaha has a huge impact on the club. So I think it's one of those where, depending really what happens, there's no reason we shouldn't be in a position to do something quite impressive next season, even if that is just a comfortable mid-table finish. Right now, that is impressive for the club. I really do think it is. But again, if we go back into the game, like I said, it wasn't that much of an exciting game. It was. I feel like in the first half, I feel like we were the better side. I think Bournemouth had a bit more possession, but I feel like we were the better side, and we were creating what should have been the better chances if we had a proper forward to finish them off. And I think it was a situation where it was really frustrating because you think maybe with Calvert-Lewin on the pitch, we scored 2 or 3 there. But, of course, that didn't happen and we won the game in the end, so that's all that matters. But it's one of those where it was really difficult to watch. It was hard to really get a gauge on what was happening, a gauge on what was going to happen in the future of that game. So it was... And then, obviously, with Leicester winning and Leicester not dropping the lead at all practically for the entire game, Leeds were out of it 2 minutes in, but it was a really close battle, and to the point where, to be fair, the team had to win and they pulled together and they won. They did what they needed to do. So in the end, I can't really give anyone much crap for that. They came in, they did the job, and Decore's goal was unbelievable. I know it took a bit of a deflection, but Decore's goal was just unbelievable. And like I said, I'm not really going to be able to sit here for half an hour and tell you how I feel and explain everything, like I said. So it's really hard just to think in the moment of what I want to say and to where the club's going to be. Because I think I don't want to ramble too much on where the club may be, because I can imagine we're going to do a stream or a video on that where we talk about what we want from the club next season. I can imagine that's going to be coming up. But if we just talk about the game again, a few players really impressed. I think Yerry Mina, he gave himself a send-off a player of his quality deserves when he's fit. I think Dwight McNeil, again, is proving to be why he can be one of Everton's best players, and I think it's not a shock that I think next season he can improve for his goal. So I think there's no reason someone like McNeil shouldn't be getting more assists than 2 that he got this season. Again, I could Dwight McNeil, if he can perform to the standards and get some real service, no reason why he can't get 8 or 9 goals and 6 or 7 assists. Alex Toffee puts Garner's future looks bright. Garner again was fantastic, being played out of position and still showed real potential. I think he needs to be played in midfield next season. I think a midfield of him, Onana, and then Decore probably. Just again, giving me no reason to think he should be dropped, but I think it's hard not to play those unless we end up playing some sort of diamond formation. Joaquin puts greetings from an Everton Chile fan. I hope Everton can build a better team next season. You don't deserve to fight for survival every year. Yeah, Joaquin, thank you. I think he hits it and he's hit the nail on the head there. I think there's no reason this club should be in the position that they're in. There's no reason this club should be fighting relegation next season. And I think hopefully next season we're not going to be fighting relegation. Hopefully we're going to be in a position where we're fighting for a comfortable mid-table spot, and we're in a position where we're not having to worry about something like this ever again, to be honest with you, because another season like that, it'd be absolutely horrible to have to do another season like that, to be completely honest with you. So, like I said, now I don't want to ramble on too much. I think Demarai Gray could have done a lot better, to be honest with you. If there's one player, I don't want to harp on any of the players because we won the game, and I'm in a more positive mood than most. But I think he should have done better. I think there's a few players that should have done better, but I think, like I said, I think Demarai Gray's expectations as a bench player, and I still think he can make a big impact on the bench. So I see no reason why to complain about Demarai Gray too much. I just think he should have done better. But yeah, a lot of the players look real. There is a core of players where it gives me some excitement about Everton, but it's also Everton, and I just can't trust this team, to be honest with you. So I think it's one of those where I don't really know what to say. I was a Toffee fan for 42 years. I do love you, Everton, from Thailand. Thank you, IT. But yeah, I don't want to, like I said, I don't want to harp on too long. But Pickford again, fantastic. That save he made from, I think it was Vina towards the end of the game, absolutely unbelievable. There was another save from Solanke, which caused to the yellow cards, which looked like a really good save again. There's no reason Pickford shouldn't be playing for a side in the top 6. But I'm not going to complain as long as he stays with us. I can't complain as long as he stays at Everton. So it's one of those where the less people that give Pickford the respect he deserves, the better for us. Dakota puts Onana is gone, or do we have another year with him? I think we're going to have another year with him because I don't think people are going to want to pay this 50, 60 million. Sorry, I've got a really itchy nose. I don't think people are going to pay the money we want, and I think we aren't going to play this pushover role anymore. So I see Onana staying for another year, and then if he has another good season, I see Onana leaving them, because I think there's a few where you look at them with young players and go, "Oh, cash in before it bites you in the back." But I think Onana's got everything about him to be an absolute Rolls Royce of a midfielder. So I think we try keeping him for another season unless we get an offer that we just simply can't turn down. So I think it's one of those where I hope we can keep him, and I think we will keep him, because I don't think we'll get the offers in that will tempt us to sell, to be honest with you, especially if we're going to have a new board in who are actually, intelligent when it comes to making footballing decisions. So yeah, I think Onana stays, to be honest with you, and I think he impressed today as well. I think he showed a real fight. He was passionate. He was constantly riling the crowd up to make sure they were always on the players' back. Yeah, I think there's no reason why Onana doesn't stay, to be honest with you, and I hope he does. Jerry, sorry, I don't want to pronounce your name wrong. We did it, boys. We did. Thank God, to put it simply, we did it, and it's the second season in a row we've had to rely on this, but we have done it, and we will be playing football in the Premier League next season, which it's good enough for now. That'll do for now. It's we can move from there, we can move from here. But to be honest with you, I think that's all I've got to say, really, unless the chat have got anything more they want to chuck in before I get going, because it's escape artist. Yeah, that's what we are. Yeah, David Blaine of football. We are masterfully escaping on one of the last days, possibly every time we have. But yeah, I think that's all I've got to say, really. I haven't got. I did hope I'd have more words to say on this. I think I did hope that I'd have more to say, more to break down. But it's one of those games where I don't really think enough happened to break it down fully after just watching the game and not having time to see the game afterwards and to analyse the game afterwards. But yeah, Everton will be playing football in the Premier League next season. Thank you. Thank you for that. I think the referee. Also, I think the referee was awful. Let me get that out by the end of this. The referee stunk. But besides that, Everton will be playing football in the Premier League next season, alongside big clubs like Luton Town. I shouldn't be taking things at Luton Town because they'll take 6 points off us next season. But thank you all for watching the stream. If you did enjoy, please make sure to like and subscribe. Follow us on Twitter at Everton Newsfeed. Follow me on Twitter at Callum Branham3. Up the fucking toffees. We survived. Come on, you Blues. Hopefully now a big summer ahead to rebuild the club and to get us closer to the position we really should be in the Premier League, to be completely honest with you all. But yeah, again, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all for the next time I'm on the channel. See you later, everyone.